It gets better and better and better and better every single day. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to Uncle Lenny, because the rules have changed. President Trump is going to demolish Kamala. Demolish. I'm not just saying this because I'd like it to be true. I'm not just saying because I want it to be true, though I do and I would like it. I'm saying because it is true. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. I don't know how to say this in any other way, any other form. And I want you right now to listen and to feel good about this. You better promise me that everyone here is able to vote. You better promise me that every single one of you, if you are able to vote and or you have already voted for Donald Trump, press the number 1. Let us see. Just the number 1. No other things, no other comments, just the number 1. Press it now if you have voted or will vote for President Donald Trump. I just want to see the number 1. Look at this. Somebody wrote voting yesterday. No. I said just vote. Just number 1. Will you vote? Have you voted? Just number 1. That's it. That's good. Look at the ones. Look at the sea of ones. Look at this. Try to avoid any instinct to put any other words. All you got to look, not yes, sir. No, 1. Just the number 1. That's it. Look at the ones. Look at this. Just look at this. Look at the number. Wait till you see a sea of ones. Look at this. Thank you, missing. He's again 1 O-N-E. Can't do it. People can't do it. I'm not going to follow. What if I could? Don't answer anything. Number 1. If you would, if you could. Number 1. I want a sea of ones. Just 1. Just the number 1. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. Look at this. This is what we're talking about. They're going to say, well, of course you're pushing number 1. Keep hitting the number 1. Show it. All you got to do. Oh, there's a smile. There's an emoji. Always 1. There's always 1. I can't follow the rules. I've got to stand out of the number 1. 1. Look at this. They're going to say you're doing this because you're just a right winger. You're just some dramatic. You're some crazed right winger. That's all you are. Are you? Is that why you're doing it? Look at this. 1 is the loneliest number. Gotta write it. Can't do number 1. Can't do it. I can't do it. I'm in Australia. I didn't say that. I don't want to hear anything. Just the number 1. I'm going to see the number 1. That's it. 1. W-O-N. Thank you, Scott. Scott's going to say, F you. I'm not going to follow the rules. I'm funny. I'm different. See, this is what happens. We are Americans. What are you doing? Look at this. Number 1. That's all. That's it. It's very simple. No need. Sometimes you don't stand out. Sometimes you're just, look, 7, Guanji. See, funny. I'll show you. I love being one of millions. Sometimes I want to stand out in the crowd. Sometimes I want to just stand and salute. Sometimes I want to say, I want to be a dutiful, pliant American patriot, doing what's right for my country. That's it. I want to do what's it. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to be funny. I don't want to do any of this stuff. I just want to say, this is it. This is it. This is the most important thing. And what you are doing right now, what these morning and evening and these various tete-a-tetes do is they remind people the solidarity and the unity of what we're talking about here. This isn't just some kind of a joke. This isn't just some fad. These are people who agree. And if you're not in this country, you agree with this message. Do you understand this? This is the thing. It's not just also, I hate to say it, not just for him, but against the sheer and unmitigated lunacy, the unmitigated lunacy of these people. This is like nothing we've ever seen before. This is like nothing. Look at this. Say it. Look at this. Say it. Checks and balances. Don't know what that means. That's okay. That's the beautiful thing about this. You don't have to have any idea of what you're saying, and it doesn't matter if anybody understands what you're saying. We are talking about people here who were so vile, so demented, so distorted, so without value, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for this. I want to thank you for this. We are talking about something. We are talking about 11 days and 15 hours and 47 minutes until election day. That's it. That is it. That is it. We are not going to be underrepresented. We're not going to be dismissed. We're not, this is not 2020. This is not COVID. Normally when you have, normally this particular program that I have allows for 10 kind of preloaded clips. There's so many of them, I don't even know where to start because of this thing called, you ready for this? This thing called the internet. It's the most important thing in the world. This thing called the internet. It's the most critical aspect of everything there is. It's the most critical aspect of everything there is. It's the most critical aspect of everything there is. This thing called the internet, it's changed everything more so than anything else. 2020 threw everybody off. It was that COVID thing. We lost our minds with COVID. We lost our minds. We lost our gumption. We lost our balls. We lost our heart. We lost our backbone. We lost everything. We lost it. It knocked us. The Karens came about. The mask holes. These people who came about with their masks and their lunacy, their tribal markings wearing the mask. These people came out of nowhere. And they ruined it for all of us. Do you hear what I'm saying? Now, my friends, this coming Saturday night, at the two things this coming Saturday night at the cutting room, I'm going to be there. We're going to have a Q&A. This is not that usual boring, stupid, how do we say this? It's never interactive. And I don't mean interactive where at the end somebody throws you a mic. No. This is going to be from the moment we start Q&A and talking and a celebration of what's going on so that you can, for 1.5 hours on stage, just not be interrupted and to turn to fellow travelers. Everybody you're sitting with is going to be a fellow patriot, libertist, whatever you want to call it, who will know exactly what you are saying. Exactly. They know exactly and precisely what you are saying. Do you understand what's going on here? Tickets are available right here at the front page, of this section. Just go and see for yourself. Right there. There it is. This coming Saturday. You get it now while tickets are available. You can get them at the door, but I don't know what happens then. I can't tell you. Those are one of those things where, we do have space limitations and there are those pesky fire marshals and the like. But there it is. First line, cutting room. Number 2, reading a report this morning from Goldman Sachs about food prices, stability. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end of the month. Get your orders in now before they change deals. Lock in these specials now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. I don't know what these people are planning, but let me give you an idea of something. And Bobby Kennedy brought this up the other day, which is so critical. Nobody is talking about a number of things. The DOD addition, the clarification, the rule which allows the government to order shoot to kill orders for American citizens. Shoot to kill. Federal government, military, given the okay, if requested, to quell protests, lockdown problems, maybe food problems, food distribution. Maybe people are getting upset. Maybe when stores close. Maybe when there's a power shortage. Maybe when the grid goes down. Who knows? They're planning something. They've already issued this. Why? I don't know. Bobby Kennedy brought it up. Nobody else. And this woman is telling you that Donald Trump is ready to unleash the government on you? Friends, if you've ever listened to me before, I cannot endorse this enough. Preparewithlionel.com. What do we need to hear? What do we need to hear? What reality do you think America needs when they say, whether it's weather, whether it's insurrection, whether it's a strike, and they never settled the longshoreman strike? They never settled anything. They postponed it deliberately. Remember the guy talking like this? I'll tell you, America, we're going to talk about this. Remember him? He's not going away. He doesn't make $1 million plus a year being a nice guy. Preparewithlionel.com. That's it. Cannot say it enough. Oh, and by the way, I did a brand new video on gold. For many folks who said, how do we even start off with this? If you think you can walk into a store and say, hey, great, I got some gold, where are you going to liquidate it? What kind of a commission are you going to get? Do you know anything about this? No, I don't. Watch that video. Evan Webb says specifically, long lines here in Fort Worth, some voting machine issue. Look to be more Trump voters so far. Absolutely. You are not going to believe the results when you hear them, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to believe the results. And I mean this after we're done. Last night, CNN had, I guess, a town hall or something. I don't even know what, with Kamala. Little background. Zaslav owns CNN, right? He's part of that Discover group. Zaslav came in and he said, I'm going to own CNN. Remember, they shut down the entire CNN digital, whatever that was. He came in, he realizes this model stinks. Listen to Uncle Lenny, not because they're liberal, not because of whatever. It doesn't matter. This morning, as we're over the breakfast table, Mrs. Allen and I have got my iPad. We're just going through X. I mean, it's the most incredible thing in the world. This is the way I start. I go to X. I go to that little magnifying glass. I see what the big news stories are. Oh, here's Kamala. Boom, boom. And one video sends me to another. There's a German woman I sent who's doing a piece on poop, which is the funniest thing and very informative, by the way. It's the internet is it. I can't. I mean, with rare exception, maybe. Believe it or not, the only thing that I find cable worthy of, I don't know. I'm trying to think, what do I watch? Very rarely will somebody say, I'm serious. Very rarely will there be anything that says, I don't know, that's cable. Sometimes they just throw the cable TV in package with you, say, whatever, you know. Unfortunately, we've had, by virtue of, it's a New York thing, we've had to get a landline because our phones just don't work in apartments. They just don't work. I don't know why. They just don't. So we'll throw that in. We'll throw in a Wi-Fi or something. By the way, I got the fastest Wi-Fi ever. I'm not going to mention the company, but let me just show you. If you use fast.com, see how fast your speed is right now. Mine says, this is in New York, 540. 540. That makes a bit, and it's like $50 a month. 540 compared to 70, 50. I mean, it's just so. Make a long story short, Zaslav and others are realizing that this model is over with because you're smarter. You're smarter. If you want to see what happened last night on CNN, you don't watch CNN. You watch X. You watch Twitter. You watch Elon Musk. You don't watch online. Maybe right side broadcasting. Maybe whatever it is. It's over. Not the voice, not the message, not the information, but it's over. And there are people that I meet at these Republican groups, people who are either my age or a little older. They're still doing this stuff like, hey, did you see? Oh, look, Wall Street Journal or Washington Post. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So last night, this numbnuts went on. So they told Anderson Cooper, Anderson, understand something. You are a dying breed. You with your CIA background and all that stuff. Remember, he wanted to get the CIA. And they want you to know that, by the way, just to let you know. Remember how this works. Remember how it all used to work. Yale to CIA, Harvard to State Department. It's been like that historically, but you kind of understand this. But not so much anymore because, by the way, the Ivy Leaguers they're making today are not like they were in the days of Alan Dulles. So anyway, so they told her, you're going to have Kamala on. Don't think for a moment that you're going to give her a pass. This was part of the disaster last night.
Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project.
Look at his face.
Is a border wall stupid?
Look at this face.
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall.
Here comes the laugh.
So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think.
And how much of it did you shut down? This is a woman, remember, listen, she prepared for this. Now it's all she can talk about. Border security, keeping America safe again. It's all she can talk about. Isn't that interesting?
The last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're.
Do you believe this? The part that President Obama built a wall? I'd like to fact check that, please. Somebody
agreed to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that.
Did you hear this? You're agreeing to earmark $650 million to continue something that you are now laughing about.
You know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yeah.
See, she doesn't. Yeah. She just contradicted herself. If this wall doesn't work, if the wall is stupid, if the wall is dumb, if it's medieval, why are you continuing it now? And why haven't you continued it while you were theoretically in charge?
Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive
bipartisan
that deals with a broken immigration system.
You had that before through executive order. After executive order, you just start wiping it out. You basically eradicated, expunged, abrogated, abnegated, Baudelarized, removed everything that Donald Trump had done.
I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it.
They've been saying this you see, this is the part of this. It's like dealing with a schizophrenic or somebody who doesn't remember what they've said. They think you're stupid. Do you hear what I'm saying? They think you are stupid. They think you're buying this. They honest to God do. All of a sudden, who's this? You laughed at this.
People have to earn it.
Have to earn it? That's what we've been saying. You've been just letting everybody pour through, and then we'll sort them out later. As you put these people on buses and trains and planes and move them into parts of the country where you needed new bodies and new people so you could tinker with the new census numbers to gerrymander and to build new districts and the like to create a permanent Democratic party. In addition to getting rid of the filibuster, packing the Supreme Court, making D.C. the 51st state, and Puerto Rico if you even deign to do that.
And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and
he did. You undid that.
Practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it.
You broke it. It was doing great. It was fantastic. You came in and broke it. If it ain't broke, don't break it.
Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem. Uncle
Lenny asks again, why now? What's so? Oh, I forgot. You're losing.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't.
So now you hear what she said? It's a good idea. So Trump had a good idea. Make up your mind, lady.
Think it's stupid anymore.
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
She will not use that wall. They told her. Under no uncertain circumstances are you to use the word wall in your peroration. Mr. Evan Webb, ladies and gentlemen, says, it is very rare that I find anyone who knows about posse comitatus act. What really removes an act legally? Is this just about ignoring what most do not remember? I know the history, but do not understand all the legal ease. Well, here's the, by the way, thank you, Evan. Posse comitatus, of course, provides for that incredibly important and that mandatory, the necessary firewall between federal military and domestic law enforcement. You never want to have the 82nd Airborne directing traffic. You never want to see the 1st Marine Division pull people over for speeding. That's law enforcement. Police are worried about the Constitution. Police take an oath to follow, to enforce the laws of either the state they're entrusted to, the jurisdiction, whatever. Military is a different story. They pledge fealty to the Constitution. They know nothing about the 4th Amendment. They know nothing about pulling people over, probable cause, reasonable suspicion, Terry against Ohio, map against Ohio. They know nothing about that. They're the military. They're not supposed to. Thank you for that, dear friends. Now remember something which is important. And by the way, remember Lake and Riley, thank you. And also remember Ashley Babbitt. Never forget Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt shot and killed for doing what? She was breaching she wasn't armed. They were already in there. They were invited in, and all of a sudden, Ashley Babbitt, we're going to kill. You all come in, but you're not. I don't want to relitigate that. It is beyond. Let's talk about something that we see right now. This absolute glorious find of educated, smart, a new, dare I say, may I be so presumptuous, dear friends, as to suggest that there is a new version, a new breed, a new texture, a new iteration, a new version of the smart, sapient, and very wise young Black African-American person of color, male or female, who for the longest time were categorized, typified, labeled as being part of some massive, liberal collective that just nodded their head whenever anybody uttered anything. All right? Look at these fine gentlemen.
Asking you, though, for weeks you have been calling Donald Trump unstable, unhinged. You've called.
I believe these are the Cartier boys. I believe. But look at this. Does this look, when you first saw it, I'll be honest. If I went back in 2020 and said, I'm going to go back 4 years in the future, this assemblage, this convocation, this coven, this consortium, this cadre, this assemblage, this coterie, this quartet of African-American men are going to be Donald Trump supporters 4 years from now. You said, no. Oh, yes.
I'm dangerous. You've quoted General Milley recently, who called him a fascist. Today, you quoted General Kelly, who said that Trump repeatedly praised Hitler. Yeah. But there are tens of millions of Americans right now who have heard all those things, and they don't buy it, or even if they do, they're still going to vote for Donald Trump. He's arguably more popular now than ever. You have 13 days to go. What do you say to those voters to convince them? Because some of them are in this room.
Sure, and I thank you all for taking the time to be here. And you could be doing a number of other things with your time. So this really is proof that we love our country. People are engaged, Anderson, and really want to talk about the issues. And so the issue that you raise, yes, I do believe that Donald Trump is unstable, increasingly unstable, and unfit to serve. And I don't necessarily think that everyone has heard what you and I have heard repeatedly, which is the people who know Donald Trump best, the people who worked with him in the White House, in the Situation Room, in the Oval Office, all Republicans, by the way, who served in his administration.
Fired.
His former chief of staff.
Fired.
His national security advisor.
Fired.
Former secretaries of defense and his vice president have all called him unfit and dangerous. They have said explicitly he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States.
From the administration, listen to Uncle Lenny. From the administration, we talked about this, that signs an amendment to the DOD manual authorizing American military and federal agencies to issue and to execute shoot to kill protocols against American citizens. You want to talk unhinged? Go ahead, lady. I'm all ears.
They have said he should never again serve as president of the United States. We know that is why Mike Pence is not running with him again, why the job was empty.
No, that's not why. That's not why. It's because he wasn't asked. You putz.
And then today we learned that John Kelly, a 4-star Marine general,
fired, loose cannon, military-industrial complex, probably going to work for the Kagans and the Newlands next, because he thought he's gonna push Trump around. He was fired. The word is shit can, lady, shit canned.
Who was his longest serving chief of staff, gave an interview recently in the last 2 weeks of this election, talking about how dangerous Donald Trump is. And I think one has to think about, why would someone who served with him, who is not political, a 4-star Marine general, why is he telling the American people now?
Because he was fired. He was shit canned. He was unceremoniously given the boot, and he has a, pardon my French, please. Uncle Lenny doesn't mean, but it's a word, it's a term of art that we use in our lexicon. He's got a hard-on for Trump. It's that simple. And they're paying him, and they're offering him money on boards. He's not going to do anything. Look, the people who run the military-industrial complex, the people that pay his salaries for his consultation, he's not going to bite the hand that feeds him. Come on. Are you that naive, lady? Wait a minute. Did I just ask that question? Did I just?
And frankly, I think of it as he's just putting out a 911 call to the American people.
Okay, let's watch these gentlemen here.
Understand what could happen if Donald.
Let's see what they get. There we go. Let's watch this.
People who have served.
Sports analogy.
Who have served as generals in our military.
When did Trump say that he was going to be a dictator on day one?
I don't know. Some clipped out of context. She kind of constantly says the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And like, then you come on here and you expect me to believe anything you say.
Yeah.
Like,
and the only thing she talks about is Trump, bro. The last video we did, it was all Trump.
Nothing
this
about
video for 4 minutes straight, we've heard about Trump. Literally.
We've said since day one, her plan. Trump bad, Kamala good.
That is not a good plan.
Suck, Kamala. You suck. I don't want to see you. I'm so sick of seeing Kamala. I don't ever want to see her have success ever.
I hate to make another sports analogy.
I cannot. No, I mean it like that, bro. I cannot stand this woman. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
But she's not the best for the president. She died.
I don't want to see her have any success. After this, I want her to crawl under a rock and disappear forever.
Bro, it's not her fault, man.
This person that I see every day campaigning, I don't ever want to see ever again for the rest of my life.
Again, but I mean,
for the rest of my life.
So like,
it's that deep to me.
We should see her on the street homeless one day.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
See,
I wouldn't have no. You sucks.
So
you're
like,
liar,
this is not divisive.
It's divisive.
Wasn't they saying
it's never? I'm the better candidate.
That's crazy. Then
everything,
y'all gonna say
listen to this.
So
I just
like
can't stand
watching
this,
this,
man.
You want to promote the death of Donald J. Trump.
Man,
in my
the
opinion.
rhetoric that they push is it's always okay, but as soon as they say, "Oh, he's fat,"
I just don't understand
Stupid.
Some of this stuff, bro.
Are you calling him childish?
Okay, I want you to hear what's going on here. I guarantee you, I've got friends of mine in my generation, the Republicans, of which I am not, fuddy-duddies, who don't understand, who never understood anything, any kind of revolution, any kind of innovation, anything. They never understood rap. They never understood the internet. They don't understand social media. These are the people who say, my God, every day I go to the end of my driveway and pick up my newspaper with a rubber band or the plastic bag. and I sit there and I watch CNN and the Wall Street Journal, by gum. Okay? All right? You got this? You got what we're saying here? This means more to me. Because Uncle Lenny's going to tell you again, the three groups of people who are going to vote for Trump, people who aren't going to vote for Trump, and then in the middle, and these new demographics. I always want the moms. We used to call them soccer moms. I don't know what we call them now. Moms, the MAGA moms. I want black men, black women. And I want to sit there and say, would you do me a favor and just let us forget about your race for a while. What do you say? Can we do it? Jean Crane says her voice gives me hives. Everything about it's not so much voice, but it's true. But it's the very fact that she would be selected. Enough with this black. It doesn't matter. What are you talking about? We are the same. We understand BS is BS. But oh, no. It gets better, bro. Literally.
Intended, nor will I ever allow America to have a border that is not secure. I believe we need to deal with illegal immigration. There needs to be consequences.
Listen to this. Can you believe this? I guess she forgot about maybe this. What do you think this is? Where did this come from? Where do you think this come from? Whose administration is this under? Who? Anybody? And by the by, these are not South Americans. Not that it matters. These are not Peruvians. These are not Chileans, Guatemalans, Mexicans. These are people from all over the world. Every one of them is a human being, but every one of them unchecked, unmonitored, unreviewed, with I don't know what disease there is, speaking languages you don't, that will demand, as in the case of Springfield, Ohio, when they're going to have school boards and school systems overdone, overrun, overwhelmed. These people, and they're good people, they're God's children, we don't want anything bad, but they're going to be flooding your cities, your boroughs, and they're not going to be going to New York. You think these folks want to hold them flying? You think they want to sit there and trudge and schlep through the let me turn this down for a minute. Do you think these people want to trudge and schlep through the cold and the frozen, gelid environment? No, they don't. This is what it's about, my friend. This is what it's about. This is precisely it. And this, thank God. Look at this. My friends, listen to me. I have, and I'm gonna. I hope you're signed up for the. I hope you're signed up for the newsletter. You are, aren't you? I got one coming out today. That's a beaut, because tomorrow Trump's going to go on Joe Rogan, and those folks in my world don't really understand what it is. There's the link right there to the newsletter. Sign up right now. Sign up now. And also, all of this is on the front of the discussion section of the YouTube channel. I've got people, seriously, bruh, literally, bruh, who are in AM and terrestrial and whatever. And I will tell you this much. Out of all of the AM terrestrial talk radio, AM, only put your money on Mark Simone. That's it. He is so connected in New York. Everybody listens to Mark Simone. He's good. Been around forever. You could go on, and people, I heard you on Mark Simone. It's the most incredible thing. WOR. He's the best. He's it. And in I love the guy. I've known him for 30 plus years, but the first 10 minutes is probably the most comprehensive, because he gets the word from those people who are involved. Okay? But what I'm trying to say is, what you're watching right now, let me ask you a favor. Please. Just do Uncle Lenny a favor. And we always have, remember, it's one thing to talk radio, terrestrial talk to me. There's always somebody getting in the car. People normally listen in the old days in their car. That's why drive time was so important. Nobody ever goes home and says, quick, somebody was shot, turn on the radio. Didn't work that way. It's always in your car. This is the old days. Not now, but in your. Where are you right now? Give me the name of the city. This is important because I always like to do this because people watch sometimes and go, who are these people? What kind of a reach you're at? Name of the city in your state. And don't tell me Ohio. Don't tell me Texas. Don't tell me, West Virginia. Give me the name on your mailing address, not your address, but the city and the state that your mail comes to. We have people in Jersey who always say they don't live in Bergen County. They live over here and they lie about where they live. Look at this. Frostburg, Maryland. Look at this. Ludlow, Mass. Aurora, Ohio. New York. Alpharetta, Georgia. Dallas. Villa Park. Lyndhurst. Alma, Arkansas. Look at this. Dallas, Georgia. Lubec, Maine. See, I love this. Monroeville, New Jersey. Did I see that? Okeechobee, Florida? Oh, my God. Tommy Malloy. Nokomis, Illinois. Wyandotte. I love this. Perth, Western Australia. Go ahead. Look at this. Look, Carlisle, PA. Fall River, Wantagh. Hawthorne, New Jersey. All over the world. Muskogee. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. Malaysia. France. The Bronx. Not Bronx. The Bronx. Incredible. This is where it is. And they don't understand it. Bruh, literally, they don't understand it. They don't get it. Did I get this one here? Let me see about this. What was this little beaut here?
A lot more on Donald Trump, I think it's fair to say, than she did on many specifics in terms of what she would do as president. But she did go into some of her plans for small businesses and the like.
Our brothers in Negritude picked that one up immediately. By the way, I love Negritude. Used to say blackness. No, Negritude. I love it. I love somebody would. In the old days, I remember one time when I was a kid, I read of an actress. They called her a negress. I love those words. I love it. There's nothing wrong with them. It's beautiful. I love ways of Sepian versus black. And people used to refer to lesbians as sapphic, from just different phrases. Here's a great word. Whenever you refer to here's a great word. The distaff moiety. What? The half is a moiety. The half. Perpetuit non per moi, for the whole and not the moiety. This is tenancy by the entireties. This is the way you hold property as husband and wife. For the moiety, for the half. The half of something is the moiety. And the distaff is the female portion. So if you have like a Mary Ford and Les Paul, the distaff moiety would be Mary Ford. See? You got how that works? See, you learn something, don't you? Watch this fellow here, this gentleman.
Have gone up quite a bit in the last 4 years. Yeah. And some people blame former President Trump. Some people blame President Biden.
Now, let me ask you quickly, ladies and gentlemen, what causes prices of food and the like? Preparewithlionel.com. Sorry, I had to do that. Food. What causes food prices to go up? Inflation. Why is there inflation? Too much money. Very simple. And what about price gouging? Price gouging. Do you know right now? There is a fellow who, if he ran for the mayor of New York, I would be there front and center. He's a local billionaire, made his money through, he owned, by the way, he bought WABC. Well, that's another story. Anyway, his name is John Katzimatidis, owns a series of D'Agostino's and, what does he own? D'Agostino's and Gristedes. Anyway, he owns supermarkets. Do you know what the profit margin is of the profit margin is of a food store? Do you know what it is? 1%. 1%. Price gouging, 1%. You know where she's going, right?
Who would you say is correct? And what would you do to bring prices down for Americans?
Thank you, Eric. And you're absolutely right. You know it. I know it. I think most Americans know it.
You don't know
it. Price of groceries is still too high. And we need to address it in a number of ways. One of my aspects of doing what we need to do to bring down the cost of living for working people and the middle class in America is to address the issue of grocery prices. Part of my background and how I come to it is probably a new approach grounded in a lot of my experiences as a former attorney general.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Where I took on price gouging.
No, she didn't. See, she took on everything. Price gouging, Martians, postnasal drip, dandruff, you name it, she took it on.
And part of my plan is to create a new approach that is the first time that we will have a national ban on price gouging.
This is if ever there was something which, and I'm sorry to say this, perfectly typified the word retarded in terms of thinking, that's it. It doesn't make any sense. People right now at the biggest stores, you go any place else, go anywhere and say, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, it's so funny. We live in places where Mrs. All and I bought, what do we buy? Like a case of water for like $20. Go to Costco, it's like $4, $5. But we got to get gas and got to go through tunnels and pay tolls. It works out the same. So we know, believe it or not, we know about, where there's money. Things are just expensive and all that kind of jazz. The bottom line is it's inflation. And she has no idea. There's a wonderful article in, I believe it was the National Review. Yes, I believe. They had some wonderful stuff. And it dealt with her claims of being a prosecutor. How many cases did she actually try? And it might have been maybe 10. Not all felonies. Some of them she second chaired. She claims to be this prosecutor, this Elliot Ness, and it's all nonsense. All nonsense. Absolute, complete, unmitigated nonsense. Her whole thing is, I was a prosecutor. I took on the cartels. I took on the mafia. I took on the Camorra, the Indragada. I took on the big tech, big pharma, big. She just says that. She did nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. And so they went through her career. It's complete and total caca del torro. ¿Me entiende? Caca del torro. Our good friend Frans Paul says a judge in the Netherlands has opened the door for Bill Gates to be sued over his pandemic recommendations. How can we onboard that in the U.S.? One thing is by getting rid of this statutory waiver, and I don't know the particular range, but it holds harmless manufacturers from putting on products that could hurt you. So if they put out a bum vaccine, they can't be sued. You ever heard about that? You want to buy a car that says, by the way, we warrant everything except the brakes. And if the brakes fail, you can't sue us. Forget it. That's a different story. Bobby Kennedy is making tremendous headway on that one. John Meek says, you are great, Lionel, but we need to remember the failed tsunami of 2022. Let's not celebrate now. Our only serious task now is to vote. Make it too big to rig. Indeed. But let me tell you something, my friend. I'm going to celebrate any moment of glee that I can bring to my brothers and sisters of the conspiratorium, of Lionel Nation. Uncle Lenny is going to say, listen, this is good news. Hey, Grandma, we got the blood reports back. And you know what? Your numbers are looking better now, Grandma. Your numbers are looking better. You understand that, Grandma? Your numbers are looking, okay, great. Yeah, that's important. Your numbers are looking better, Grandma. It's very, very important. Cut Up Chatter says it's agonizing to listen to her make a 5-word sentence into a dissertation on the entire book. indeed. Let's look more of her words. People are just attacking her brutally today.
Well, what you're saying is anyone under 400,000 won't have taxes raised. Or are you saying that anyone above 400,000 will have a tax raise?
I'm saying that there is going to be a parity around what the richest people pay.
See, she never answers a question. She talks about it in general. Are you saying that you're going to lower the speed limit to 35 on the interstate, on the highway from 55 or 65? Is that what you're saying? I'm saying that we have to understand and recognize the fact that speed is a factor, more often than not, in collisions and death. Well, that's not what I ask you. Are you going to lower the speed? I'm just saying, I'm not saying she is, but speed, velocity is something. Miles per hour versus miles per hour squared, or acceleration, are two components. She never answers the question because two things. She doesn't know the answer, and she doesn't care.
In terms of their taxes. Right now, Anderson, the document, it is well documented that some of the richest people in our country have gotten away with a zero tax rate.
But if you're earning $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 under your plan, there's a good chance your taxes go up.
We can't have this conversation without knowing what it's a very complicated situation, right? If you're talking.
No, answer the question. Answer the question. Just say it. Believe me, the top 1% pay like 50, I don't know, some of them are like 40, 50% of all taxes. It's bizarre.
Question, why didn't she do it? Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? Because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack. We're not going to take fossil fuel.
Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. The worst vice president in the history of our country.
Absolutely. Want to see something even better? Not that that's not good. Remember Liz Cheney came along? All of a sudden, Liz Cheney, who always looks like her goldfish died. Like she just went through some personal tragedy. You know that she's got that funja. She just always looks upset. The internet never goes away, and the internet never lies. And the internet it can't be forgotten. This is something, believe it or not, this is what old Lizzo said about Kamala, and now it's come back to haunt her.
As somebody who is a centrist, and in one fell swoop here, he has put somebody on the ticket who...
Look what she's wearing, by the way, the kente cloth. This most probably is after that George Floyd fiasco, where they attempted to lionize, I dare say, that absolute thug, that miscreant, that drug-crazed lunatic that somehow, weird to believe all of a sudden, represents what exactly? What exactly does he represent? He was a thug, a drug addict whose own personal life and his own, it was horrid. And by the way, watch my video on Daniel Penny and how they're trying to do to him, which is so manifestly unfair. There's the link for that. Let's go back again. Look at old Liz. Liz forgot about this, or Liz didn't think that we knew about this. Liz, Liz who lost, who was tossed out of her own state, who's bitter, kind of like General Kelly. Now all of a sudden forgot what she said about Kamala.
As somebody who is a centrist, and in one fell swoop here, he has put somebody on the ticket whose voting record in the Senate is to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So I think that, the American people are going to look at the substance of this. They're going to look at what she stood for in the past. They're going to look at what she said during the primary election. And it's very clear. She is a radical liberal. She's somebody that has said we ought to spend $32 trillion on Medicare for all. If you look at her record as well in California, She did, in fact, essentially ban gun sales with executive action, and she threatened during the primaries to do the same thing if she's elected.
And there you go. There you go. There you go. Incredible. See this? You see where we are right now? They expect you, ladies and gentlemen, to just forget everything. They expect you just to forget everything and just not to care anymore. We are so monumentally close. And I am not going to apologize for giving you hope. I am not going to apologize for giving you hope. Listen to this, my friends. Our good friend S.C. Max says, America, please do not make the mistake voters did here in the UK. Folks hate for the Conservatives ushered in a WEF, a World Economic Forum puppet. Now Labor are sending them to you to campaign for Kamala. Thank you, S.C. You hear that? And what has happened to the UK is just incredible. I don't understand. I don't understand any of it. I honest to God, how did you let this happen? How did you allow people in your state? How did you allow people in your state, in your country, to be arrested for posting something on the internet? How did you do that? How? We theoretically absorbed and were inspired for all of our laws from you. How did you ever let that happen? I don't understand. It's something, my dear friends, that are beyond anything to me. Tomorrow is going to be one of the most monumental of days. I mean it. Because tomorrow is going to do a number of things. Number one, Joe Rogan has on President Trump. Just saying that says it all. Number two, the baton has shifted. The order, dare I say, the order, those individuals who are involved in this system have been told specifically that this is a new world. AM fought FM. Christo says, Uncle Lenny, vote or don't vote. This is the place. Indeed. I'd rather somebody not vote than vote for that thing. If you have to. Hold your nose and vote for Trump. If you believe in business, and they never talk about Israel. They never talk about Ukraine. Never. We have now THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Air Defense, American soldiers and military working battalions or being sent to Israel to do. Whoa, what? Wait a minute, what? Why are we involved in that? What? Nobody talks about that ever. They just talk about Iran. How about stop pissing off Iran? Look, I'm not even going to waste my time with this. Americans don't understand the Middle East. They don't understand the Houthis. They don't get it. They don't understand. They never will. They never understood this. Your government kissed the arse of Zelensky when this t-shirted fraud, this effeminate jazz handy. Let me tell you something. He and the Tampon Tim should take it on the road, along with Slappy Imhoff. Let's see what they'll do, a trio that'll make. When they came to the Congress and they absolutely clapped and applauded and paid fealty to this man to talk like this, to call the Russian. We get the Russian. Whenever I talk to anybody about this, I remember one time, the first time I knew this real schmuck, he put up a Ukrainian flag. I said, you know what the Maidan coup was? What? No clue. How dare you? Huh? Yeah, upside down. Remember, blue at the top? Unbelievable. These are the people. We are involved in something that is so, but let me explain something to you. I know no one cares, but I'm going to say this. You understand this? Yahya Sinwar, okay? This is Hamas, and they're making him out to be this person who was this evil. He was the chairman of the Hamas political bureau. Do you want to know how he is being viewed? There he was in this place, mortally wounded. When this quadricopter came in, he threw a stick at him. You know how we said, fight, fight, fight. Remember that? Remember how you felt? And the Democrats laughed at you because you said, what are you talking about? We couldn't believe the president stood up there after a bullet took off part of his ear. Remember that? Fight, fight, fight. Remember that? We thought it was great. We loved his fortitude, his bravery. That's the way they think about Sinwar. But you'll never know that listening to American. Oh, no, never American media. He's just a mean, evil, the consummate evil. And Fox News, it's the worst. They are so in bed. I'm not saying love the guy. I'm not saying like the guy. I'm saying stop pissing off people we don't have fights with. Why are we getting involved in civil wars and in battles? Did we not learn from Vietnam? What are we doing? They love him. When Israel goes to sovereign nations and attacks embassies, this is a declaration of war. Get away from this. Wait, I mean, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Oh, that was so great. Did you see how they sent those clickers and walkie-talkies and pagers? That was, these people are so genius. Really? Really? The same people who didn't see October the 7th come? Look, if you don't want to learn the truth, I understand. It's not good. The truth is not good. You don't want to go there. But do me a favor. You just do this. You say, you know what? You handle that all you want. Don't bring us involved in this. All of those billions going to drop 2,000-pound bomb bunker busters to take out multiple city blocks and kill every living thing. How about putting them into Florida or North Carolina? How about helping Americans? That money, $1 billion, just $1 billion in the state of Florida, here. How can you as an American citizen sit there and say, that makes sense to me? What beef do we have with Gaza? What? Or with the Houthis, or with Lebanon or Hezbollah? What? You want to take on the Houthis? Wait till they scuttle a ship. Wait till Iran says, you know what? Strait of Hormuz, forget it. Why are we doing this? There was a time in this country for the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the DRC, they were attacking and they were raping women with bayonets and doing these horrible things, mutilation, sexual mutilation as an act of war. We didn't do a thing about it. Why? Because our export was what? Chocolate? We didn't care about them. There was no military. Nobody cared about them. Women. I don't even know how many. Why, 250,000, 1 million? Women who had to leave. Women who were so violently attacked. And was it 2005 maybe? And I was saying, what are we doing? This country was so stupid that we went into, this was, I have to calm down because I always expect people to say, I don't know why, I never get over it. Muammar Gaddafi. Oh, he was evil. He was evil. Wasn't evil. They loved him. This is a guy who wanted to make his country arable, to tap into the Nubian sandstone aquifer, who wanted to dump $25-30 billion into this. Self-sufficient. And in Tripolitania, in Cyrenaica, and the Fezzan, they loved him. But we killed him. And they sexually abused him and violated him on his deathbed in the back of a truck. What is the matter with us? This isn't my country. What are we doing? We're barbaric. And the reason that this happens is because America is so goddamn clueless. We don't know anything because you're watching Fox News. You're letting Jesse Waters. Has he ever mentioned anything about the World Economic Forum? Sam Whiskey says, unfortunately, war is very profitable. Peace is not. Well, of course not. It's just like when you go to a doctor and the doctor says, you say, hey, listen, I'm feeling great. How do I continue doing this? I don't know what to tell you. Doctors aren't reimbursed by insurance companies if they prescribe kale. Caldwell Esselstyn in I think it was JAMA or the New England Journal of Medicine actually reversed coronary artery disease, reversed on plant-based diet, reversed. A doctor at the time who was so far gone, he couldn't even get a bypass because his coronary arteries were so winnowed, so moth-eaten. Reversed it. It's nothing. Shut up. Go away. We can't make money on kale. You don't understand this. We can't. What are you doing? Nobody's going to tell you this. Nobody's going to ever tell you anything involving the truth because the truth is not profitable. And as long as you've got the Jessies and the gut buckets and the typhoids and the Hannitys and all these people spotting this nonsense, you know what? Do me a favor. I don't know if they've got any kids. I think maybe Sean's got some kids. I hope they're too old. Send one of them to Haifa to man some THAAD battery. Go ahead. Put your money where your mouth is. Have them go and become and volunteer for the IDF and do this. Don't just sit back on 6th Avenue or in your manse in Florida in some air-conditioned studio talking about how we got to get tough and we got to fight terrorism. You put your fat ass or your family on the bottom line. But before you do that, make sure you walk through the cities and see what happens. See what you're doing. See what we're doing. We never wanted to do that with Vietnam. We never did until it became cool before we got into, we're not anti-war anymore. We're not anti-war. And when we talk about this, the only time it's always reduced into anti-Semitism. It's like, no, that's not what we're talking about. War. Democrats used to be anti-war. We are so gone. And interestingly enough, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel it. President Trump, deep down inside, is kind of saying, I'm not that crazy about these folks. So I'm not going to say a lot about it, but this is bullshit. We have to do a top to bottom change of everything. But the first step's going to be to get rid of this cancer, this bezor, this horrible, occluded. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you call this. I've never seen anything like this ever. I've never seen it. It just absolutely blows. I don't recognize anything anymore. I don't. Let me see this. Cut Up Chatter says it's agonizing to listen to her make. Oh, yes, a 5-word sentence into a dissertation. Yes. Christian Janos says speed limit lowered for 8-cylinder cars and no change for Yugos. Thank you, Christian. You are a good man. Crypto Dominic says, Uncle Lenny, vote or don't vote. This is the place. Unfortunately, war is profitable, says Sam. Crypto, I'll take Gaddafi over her. Oh, Gaddafi is well, nobody will ever hear the truth about him. John D says, we went through Milton on this island here in Florida, and FEMA denied us $750 because the Fed spent our money on Israeli bombing of Lebanon and subsequent aid to the Lebanese victims. Absolutely. That's my native state. I'm a Florida cracker, Hillsborough County, Ybor City, second generation. And when I see what happens to that, it breaks my heart. Evan Webb says, I don't want to be governed by some global power. As a Texan, I barely want the federals telling my state how to live. I am sick of seeing my tax dollars going to anything not in the U.S. Leave NATO. Leave NATO immediately. And when I see those idiots on Fox News, those idiots with that Jack Keane, you stupid bastard, you're with the Institute for the Study of War. This is the Kagans and the Newlands. Do you not know how this thing works? Do you not know how this thing works? No. Americans are so bloody stupid. They don't know history. They don't know anything. You can tell an American anything and just throw in the Hitler somewhere just mention Hitler. Everybody knows Hitler. What do they call it? The Godwin principle, that the longer you speak, what is it? The longer you speak on a subject on the internet. Oh yeah. The longer you speak on a subject on the internet, the probability of somebody bringing up Hitler approaches 1. You really want to talk about Hitler? You really want to talk about Hitler? Does anybody really want to? Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Let me tell you about Texas. You had Rick Perry. Rick Perry was the first guy years ago who wanted to bring up this wonderful thing called the Trans-Texas Corridor. Remember that one? The NAFTA Superhighway. Remember that one? This was when the North American Union was up and running. They were going to have the Amero. Remember that? Bilderberg was planning to do. Remember the Amero? We have the Euro. This was the Amero. They were going to break the world up into 4 or 5 different unions. Asian, North American, European, I don't know what the other ones were, Asian, and they were going to try to, under a new world order, recompartmentalize, reposition the world into various unions, have their own individual currency. And by the way, the EU and Euro, that was all a Bilderberg. That was all patterned there. I remember years ago when I brought up the Bilderberg, they said, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're a conspiracy theorist. Remember in Chantilly, Virginia, when all the press were on the plane and they took Obama off and sent him there, and then all of a sudden people were held? Remember that one? Of course not. You weren't told about that. They told me I was a conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy theorist. I was a conspiracy theorist. And guess what? Bilderberg has a website now. CFR, Council of Foreign Relations. You're a conspiracy theorist. There's no such thing as that. They're on Fifth Avenue now. Or they were. Trilateral Commission. There's no such thing as that. Rockefeller did that. Yep. Absolutely. How about the Mont Pelerin Society? Pellerin. Look it up. That's the Milton Friedman, the libertarian kind of wing of this. They meet yearly to talk about Hayek and the Austrian school. That's there as well. When I deal with people, I realize I've got to tell them things that they know nothing about. I try every now and then to say, somebody goes, hey, would you like to come speak? I say, I don't know. That's why Saturday I get to say whatever I want. I've been talking about geoengineering from the beginning of time. Since if you've ever known me, I remember the first time Dane Wigington and I talked, God bless him, at geoengineeringwatch.org. He's been talking about this forever. They thought we were out of our minds. And I'm saying, look at this. Well, it's contrast. It's not condensation true. My good friend Anthony Cumia couldn't believe what I was saying. Now he's an adherent. I said, how did you not know this? On the 11th day of the 9th month, 23 years ago, Mrs. Allen and I were here. And there was a particular structure that, lo and behold, collapsed. And it never, ever was talked about ever again. And every year when they have this remembrance, they have these 2 beams. My little thumbnail has 3 beams. Remember this one particular structure that at 5:20 p.m. fell miraculously for no particular reason. And nobody said, what? People who were here didn't know that. People who were here. I read off the list one time. You should have seen the blood drip from. I read the name of the list. I read the list, rather, the names of all of the drills that were going on that day for hijacking on that day. You know, the best way to make a drill go hot is to make it hot. Whenever you see the military on the border, for a drill, be careful. It takes one person to say, go. Now it's hot. The best way to rob a bank, best time to rob a bank is when the police are doing all of these bank robbery drills. You don't know who's telling the truth. I want to report a bank robbery. Yeah, we know about that. No, this is a bank robbery. No, today's a drill. No, this is a real bank robbery. No, I know you're saying. No, I'm not saying that. I'm telling you it's a real bank robbery. You're saying that because. No, I'm not saying that because. Think I'm kidding? Think I'm kidding? It's not even remotely. You cannot ever underestimate the level of absolute idiocy on the part of the American people. You will never, ever do it. Never. It's one of those things that you got to ask yourself a simple question. Why are we doing this? And why is this happening? Why? What is the purpose behind this? Why is this happening? I will never understand it. You know, one of the things which is the most important thing in the world, and I mean this so much, and it's so critical. Do me a favor. There's nothing joking about this. I've got to tell you something. There is nothing to me more infuriating than when people think this is a joke, or that I'm kidding, or that, and I recognize the fact that many people don't like to hear this, but I can go through this, and there are more people, experts on levels you cannot believe. And it is because of, I remember this, the Marshall McLuhan line, little lies are hard to keep secret, but big lies are easy because of our incredulity. It's that simple. I can't say it any clearer than that, my friends. I can't say it any clearer than that. So anyway, my friends, I thank you. I thank you so much. I want to thank Evan Webb, and I want to thank Johnny D, and I want to thank Crypto Domini and Sam Whiskey, and Christian Janus and Cut Up Chatter, Johnny Meeks, ladies and gentlemen, Franz Paul, Gene Crane, Evan, of course, you are so important. Your support, your generosity, your support makes this so special. And I can't thank you enough. I mean it every single day. Remember, what keeps us going is your support to do this. I've been talking to you right now for an hour and 12 minutes straight. No commercials, no news, sports, and weather, no top of the hour, no news guy, no ads for tinnitus or that Lumi or that stuff where you don't have to bathe and none of that jazz. It's just you and me. This is over an hour a day, every day, twice a day, plus other videos every single day, without a doubt, because it means that much. It means. And your support is something that is just so gratifying. I would love one day, my dream is to have, never on TV, because it would never work, but a channel of the best people available, talking about subjects all at once that you're perfect. Because remember, Tucker will go so far. Bobby Kennedy Jr. will go so far. Tulsi Gabbard will go so far. Elon Musk will go so far. They're good. They're great. But they stop. They stop. They don't know. You know what I'm talking about. They go to, and then they stop. They say, well, keep talking. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. And the best stories, the most fascinating stories, are the stories involving issues and items from history that nobody wants to touch today. All right, dear friends, please follow Mrs. L at linswarriors.com. linswarriors.org is her channel, but Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. This is the most incredible thing in the world. You've got to read this question. Did you hear the story about the young man who basically was killed by a bot? There are bots that are killing our kids. that are going into as a weird and sick experiment, telling our kids, leave home, or I love you, or do harm. This is going on right now, unregulated. And a lot of times people say, oh, these kids are stupid, it serves them right. What do you mean? So follow her, Lynn's Warriors. Also find out her take on this Abercrombie case. And I've talked about this. Why does he get bail and not Diddy? Why do you think? So follow her at Lynn's Warriors. All right, my friends, you have a great and a glorious day. Please, please, please. I've got a new video, a new newsletter coming did I get your email? Yes, I did. I will answer that, sir. Thank you. Lionel at lionelmedia.com, please. Feel free to inquire, to communicate, and the like. All right, dear friends, you have a great and a glorious day. Remember, if you've not voted, vote. If you don't know who to vote for, Trump. Donald Trump. If you don't like Trump, I don't care. Donald Trump. Hold your nose and vote for him if you don't. I don't care. Donald Trump. But I'm not a Republican. Donald Trump. This is not about Republicans. This is not about conservatives. This is about saving this country because the rules have changed. And tomorrow, Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. You have no idea how big this is. And the 26th, Saturday night, at the Cutting Room in New York City. Tickets available right in the discussion section right there. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Go out, enjoy the day, enjoy your family, enjoy your time. Think, listen to great music. Don't watch cable news. And always keep asking why, and question authority. All right, dear friends, don't forget this. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.